Three people leave Harry at his aunt and uncle's house with a letter and a scar on his forehead. Years passed. Harry is now grown and sleeps in the cupboard under the stairs. Today is his cousin Dudley's birthday, and the family is going to the zoo. Before they get into the car, Harry's uncle warns him not to do anything strange at the zoo. At the zoo, they stop to look at a snake. After everyone else leaves, Harry stays behind and starts talking to it. To his surprise, the snake understands him. Just then, Dudley pushes Harry aside and presses himself against the glass. Suddenly, the glass vanishes. Dudley falls into the enclosure, and the snake slithers out and escapes. Back at home, Harry's uncle locks him in the cupboard. The next day, Harry collects the mail and discovers that he has received a letter addressed specifically to him. It is the first letter he has ever received. Dudley snatches it away and gives it to his parents. They are shocked when they see that it came from Hogwarts. The following day, more letters arrive. His uncle tears them up and seals the mailbox shut. Soon, the outside of the house is filled with letters and owls. The next day, thousands of owls gather outside. Letters burst through the chimney and rain down from every direction. Desperate to escape them, Harry's uncle takes the family to a remote hut on a rock in the middle of the sea, convinced that nobody will be able to find them there. Today is Harry's birthday. He sits alone and makes himself a cake in the dirt. Suddenly, loud banging echoes through the door. A gigantic man crashes inside. The man gives Harry a birthday cake and uses his umbrella to light a fire in the fireplace. He introduces himself as Hagrid. Then he tells Harry something unbelievable. Harry is a wizard. Hagrid pulls a letter from his coat and hands it to Harry. It is an invitation to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Harry's uncle rushes in and refuses to let him go. For the first time, Harry's aunt reveals her jealousy toward Harry's mother, her sister. That's why they kept Harry in the dark about his parents his whole life. Ignoring their protests, Hagrid takes Harry away. They arrive at a pub. Everyone inside is stunned to see Harry. People rush over to greet him. Harry is surprised that so many people know who he is. Hagrid taps a brick wall with his umbrella, and the bricks begin to move. A street appears before them. They enter Diagon Alley. Harry needs to buy supplies for school. Their first stop is Gringotts Bank. The bank is filled with goblins. Hagrid tells one of the goblins that Harry wishes to make a withdrawal. Then he hands over a letter from Professor Dumbledore, the headmaster of Hogwarts. The goblin leads them deep underground to Harry's vault. When it opens, Harry is stunned. The vault is filled with gold coins. Afterward, they visit another vault. Inside is a small package. Hagrid quickly takes it and tells Harry that it is a secret. Later, Hagrid explains the truth about Lord Voldemort, the dark wizard who murdered Harry's parents. Nobody who stood in Voldemort's way survived, except Harry. That is why everyone knows his name. At the station, Hagrid gives Harry his train ticket and disappears. Harry asks a station worker where platform 9 3/4 is. The man thinks it is a joke and walks away. Then Harry notices a woman talking about the same platform. He follows her. He watches one of her sons push a trolley directly into a wall and vanish. One by one, the others do the same. Harry finally asks the woman for help. She tells him to run straight at the barrier between platforms 9 and 10. Harry takes a breath and runs. Instead of crashing, he passes through. On the other side stands the Hogwarts Express. On the train, Harry meets Ron Weasley. Ron is surprised to see him and immediately asks to look at the famous scar on his forehead. Ron is about to demonstrate a bit of magic when a girl suddenly enters their compartment. Her name is Hermione Granger. She asks Ron to continue the spell, but when it fails, she casually repairs Harry's broken glasses with magic. Then she informs them that they should change into their school robes because they will be arriving soon. Shortly afterward, the train reaches Hogwarts. The students board small boats and cross the lake toward the enormous castle. Upon entering, they are greeted by Professor McGonagall, who explains the school's rules and regulations. As she leaves, Harry is approached by Draco Malfoy. Draco mocks Ron and offers Harry his friendship, claiming that some wizarding families are better than others. Harry refuses. The students are then led into the Great Hall. One by one, they are called forward, and a sorting hat is placed upon their heads. The hat sorts students into different houses. Ron, Hermione, and Harry are placed in Gryffindor. After dinner, the Gryffindor students head toward their dormitories, climbing staircases that constantly move and change direction. The next morning, during breakfast, the mail arrives. Harry notices a newspaper article that immediately catches his attention. Gringotts Bank has been robbed. However, nothing was stolen because the vault had been emptied earlier that very day. It is the same vault Harry and Hagrid visited. That night, Harry, Ron, and Hermione are heading back to their dormitory when the staircases unexpectedly change direction. They enter a room, followed by the groundskeeper cat. Afraid that he's nearby, they run. They accidentally enter a forbidden corridor and hide inside a room. When they turn around, they discover something terrifying. A gigantic three-headed dog is standing in the room, growling at them. They run for their lives. Back in the common room, they realize that the dog appeared to be guarding something hidden beneath it. The next day, during Charms class, Hermione is the only student who successfully performs the spell. Ron makes fun of her afterward. Hermione overhears everything and runs away upset. That evening, Neville tells Harry and Ron that she has been crying in the girls' bathroom all day. Suddenly, Professor Quirrell bursts into the Great Hall shouting, "A troll has entered the school." Panic spreads everywhere. Professor Dumbledore orders all students back to their dormitories. Harry suddenly remembers Hermione. She has no idea about the troll. Harry and Ron immediately run toward the girls' bathroom. On the way, they see the troll enter. Inside, Hermione comes face to face with the troll. It swings its massive wooden club and destroys everything around her. To distract it, Harry and Ron throw pieces of debris at its head. Harry grabs its club and gets onto his neck. Then he shoves his wand up the troll's nose. The troll grabs Harry. It repeatedly tries to smash him with its club, but keeps missing. Meanwhile, Ron casts the spell. The club flies out of the troll's hand, rises into the air, and crashes down onto its head. The troll collapses unconscious. Moments later, the professors rush into the bathroom. To protect Harry and Ron, Hermione lies and claims the whole incident was her fault. While leaving, Harry notices a fresh wound on Professor Snape's leg. The next morning, Harry tells Ron and Hermione that Snape must have been injured by the three-headed dog. He believes Snape is trying to steal whatever is being guarded beneath it. Soon afterward comes Harry's first Quidditch match. During the game, Harry's broom suddenly begins behaving strangely. It jerks violently. High above the stadium, Harry hangs upside down. Through a pair of binoculars, Hermione notices Professor Snape jinxing the broom. Hermione rushes through the crowd and secretly sets Snape's robes on fire. The distraction breaks the spell. Harry regains control of his broom. He dives after the golden snitch. Harry crashes onto the ground. The crowd gasps. Then Harry coughs and spits the golden snitch into his hand. Gryffindor wins the match. Later, Harry learns that the three-headed dog belongs to Hagrid. The students tell Hagrid about Snape supposedly jinxing Harry's broom. While speaking, Hagrid accidentally mentions a name: Nicolas Flamel. The moment he realizes his mistake, he refuses to say another word. Christmas eventually arrives. Most students return home for the holidays. Hermione leaves, but Harry and Ron remain at Hogwarts. On Christmas morning, Harry receives an anonymous gift. Inside is an invisibility cloak. That night, he sneaks into the restricted section of the library searching for information about Nicolas Flamel. He pulls a book from a shelf. The book suddenly begins screaming. Startled, Harry quickly closes it and puts it back. The noise attracts the groundskeeper. Harry escapes under the cloak. As he wanders the castle, he discovers a mysterious room. Inside stands a magnificent mirror. When Harry looks into it, he sees his parents are standing beside him. He ran back and brings Ron to see the mirror. However, Ron sees something completely different. He sees himself as head boy and Quidditch captain. Harry becomes obsessed with the mirror. One day, Dumbledore arrives. Dumbledore explains that the mirror of Erised shows the deepest and most desperate desires of a person's heart. He warns Harry that many people have wasted away staring into it. He tells Harry never to seek it out again. After Christmas, Hermione returns to Hogwarts. She immediately brings Harry and Ron a book she found in the library. Inside, they finally discover Nicolas Flamel, a famous alchemist and the only creator of the Philosopher's Stone. The stone has extraordinary powers. It can turn any metal into pure gold and produce the elixir of life. The three friends immediately realize that the three-headed dog is guarding the same stone. Determined to learn more, they visit Hagrid. To their surprise, they find him secretly hatching a dragon egg. As they question him, Hagrid accidentally reveals that a stranger gave him the egg. Soon afterward, the dragon hatches. Unfortunately, Draco Malfoy spots them through a window. On the way back, they came across Professor McGonagall. As punishment, she assigns the four of them detention. For their detention, they must accompany Hagrid into the Forbidden Forest. Deep within the forest, they discover silver unicorn blood. Hagrid explains that they are here to investigate that. To cover more ground, they split into groups. Harry and Malfoy continue deeper into the forest. Eventually, they come across a horrifying sight. A hooded figure is drinking the unicorn's blood. Harry's scar suddenly erupts with pain. The figure begins moving toward him. Before it can reach him, a centaur charges into the clearing. The hooded figure flees into the darkness. The centaur warns Harry that the creature drinking unicorn blood is none other than Voldemort. The next day, Harry cannot stop thinking about what he learned. Then a realization strikes him. Why would someone randomly give Hagrid a dragon egg? The three friends rush to confront Hagrid. After some questioning, Hagrid admits that the stranger who gave him the egg also asked questions about the three-headed dog. Without realizing it, Hagrid revealed exactly how to get past the creature. They race to Professor McGonagall and ask for Dumbledore. She explains that Dumbledore has left for the Ministry of Magic. Believing there is no time left, three of them decide to protect the stone themselves. That night, they sneak into the forbidden corridor. The three-headed dog is asleep. As they carefully move toward the trapdoor beneath it, the creature suddenly wake. Without hesitation, they jump through the trapdoor. They fall into a mass of magical roots. The roots immediately wrap around them. Hermione recognizes the roots. She tells the others to relax because the plant tightens around anyone who struggles. Harry and Hermione remain calm and are released. Ron panics. The roots tighten around him. Thinking quickly, Hermione creates magical light. The plant recoils from the brightness and releases Ron. The friends continue forward. Soon they enter a chamber filled with thousands of flying keys. A locked door stands at the far end. Among the keys, Harry spots one with damaged wings. The moment he mounts a broomstick, the keys attack. Harry flies through the room at high speed, dodging. Finally, he catches it and tosses it to Hermione. The door unlocks. Beyond it lies a giant wizard's chessboard. A doorway waits on the opposite side. They realize something terrifying. The chess pieces are real. To cross, they must play the game. Harry becomes a bishop. Hermione takes the position of a castle. Ron becomes a knight. The game begins. If they make a mistake, they could die. Ron takes control of the game. Move after move, he guides Harry and Hermione across the board. Eventually, he sees the only path to victory, but it requires a sacrifice. Ron makes the move. A giant stone knight swings its weapon and strikes him. Ron is thrown from his horse and collapses unconscious. Harry completes the final move. They win the game. Harry tells Hermione to take back Ron and call Dumbledore. Then he continues alone. In the next chamber, he discovers Professor Quirrell. Harry is stunned. He had always suspected Snape. Quirrell reveals the truth. Quirrell reveals the truth. It was he who tried to kill Harry during the Quidditch match. Snape had actually been trying to save him. The mirror of Erised stands nearby. Quirrell orders Harry to look into it. Harry sees his reflection placing the Philosopher's Stone into his pocket. Instinctively, he reaches into his own pocket. The stone is really there. Harry realizes what happened but lies to Quirrell. Then Quirrell slowly removes his turban. Harry watches in horror. On the back of Quirrell's head is a face, the face of Voldemort. Voldemort knows Harry has the stone. Harry tries to escape, but magical fire erupts around the room. There is nowhere to run. Voldemort offers Harry power. He even promises to reunite him with his parents. Harry refuses. Enraged, Voldemort orders Quirrell to kill him. Quirrell grabs Harry by the neck and the stone fell. Then Harry grabs his wrist. Quirrell screams. The flesh on his hand begins turning to ash. Harry touches his face. His skin crumbles. Within moments, Quirrell collapses into dust. Harry picks up the stone. Then a cloud of black smoke bursts from Quirrell's remains. It rushes through Harry's body. Everything goes dark. Harry wakes up later in the hospital wing. Professor Dumbledore came to see him. Dumbledore explains that the Philosopher's Stone has been destroyed. Harry asks how he managed to obtain the stone from the mirror. Dumbledore explains that only someone who wanted to find the stone but not use it could retrieve it. As the school year comes to an end, students begin boarding the Hogwarts Express for home.